Good afternoon, everyone. Please, come join us. Right, this is Remixed. And Remixed is it's supposed to be actually be a workshop in the most unworkshop theatre you've ever been to in your entire life. So, my name is Robert Dunsmore. I'm a freelance creative director, so I work for a lot of agencies, and I have to be an ideas factory. Always when a new brief comes in, the idea is that you do it as quickly as you can to get it into production so that things can work really, really quickly. So what we're going to do today, I've actually got a real life brief from Dell Technologies, and I've got the real life briefing form from an agency, a UK agency called Orange Door, and they've allowed us to have that. So I'm going to share that brief with you, and then basically we're going to talk it through and we're going to remix it, because that's how culture creates. And this is part of the Culture Creates program that IBTM have put on. And the way that culture actually advances is by remixing, by changing things, by adding one new thing at a time. So that's what we're going to be doing over the next 40 or so minutes. So we're lucky to do this because Orange Door are a UK-based agency. They're actually B Corp certified. They're really progressive and interested in young talent. So how many people in here, have we got any students in here? The most important people in the room, those two down there, because this is actually aimed at you, because Dell Technologies have got a roadshow or a mobile thing that they want to do, and it's aimed at 18 to 35-year-olds, where people aren't going to stores anymore, and so that's where they're going to be pulling it through. So you two are the most important in the room, so everyone bow to you at your feet. Then we've also got IBTM World, who have helped us with this, because they've actually allowed us to put this on by doing the culture thing in the first place. So that's kind of important. So for the next, if you're willing and you're up for it, for the next 30 minutes or so, you're going to be an ideas factory, and you're going to find out what it's like to work for Dell Technologies, or what it's like to work for an agency, an event agency, when that brief comes through the door. Because what people will tell you, they'll stand up here and they'll give you this lovely chart, and they'll say, well, a brief comes in, and we look at the data, and then we look at how this is going to be, and then we look at the demographic, and then we talk to our venue suppliers. That's great, and that's a wonderful theory. It's not like that. What it's actually like is the brief comes through the door, and everyone is really already busy, and you all get interrupted, and you get chucked into a room. And when you go into that room, if you're an ideas factory, you're going to be the most important person in the room. You're going to be the person who is going to remix this event that has probably been before, and the way that you're going to change it is by adding one new thing here or there. So when you get that meeting, the first thing you need to do is to be an ideas factory. The second thing that has to happen in that room is you're working for a production company. All event agencies, they call themselves creative or whatever they wish to be, they actually are production companies. That's where they make their money, hiring the chairs, doing the rigging, the lighting, doing all that lovely AV over there. That's where the money comes from. So the sooner you can come up with the idea, the more pace you can apply to that idea, you're actually saving that production agency money. Also, the quicker you can develop that idea, the rapidest way that you can develop that prototype idea, you're also saving the entire team time, and they have more time to actually work and develop and make it a much better, more cohesive idea. So you need to be an ideas factory, you need to work at pace, then you need to apply performance, because you're pitching for this Dell Technologies Roadshow retail affair, and the performance is the quality of the idea. It's going to give your agency, your event planning company, this is going to be the competitive advantage by having a better idea than everyone else. Because remember, when you're in this room at this pitch meeting, you're not actually designing an event. You're trying to come up with an idea. You're not delivering an event, you're delivering an idea. So a brief is made of words. It's just a mess of words. And what you're going to do is you're going to go through the brief when we show that, and there'll be a roving microphone there, so anyone that wants to sort of interrupt or shout, feel free. And you're looking for the connections, because in those words, there's maybe 600 words. And those 600 words could guide you or misguide you. If you pick out the correct words, the key words, what the brief is really all about, and you understand that, and you pick out the 10 or 12 or 15 keywords that really are the essence, the DNA of the brief. Now, if you can do that, you deal with those 10, 15 words first, and you deal with them before you deal with the other 500 and whatever words. So what you'll be looking for in the brief is the connections that make sense of it. Events are a sensory experience, and the connections that you make is what actually makes sense of the event in the first place. That's its purpose. Obviously, there has to be some process. And so that process is a 3-stage process. So when you get in the room, you've got the brief. What we're going to do is the first thing we're going to look at is what are the issues? What are the issues with this brief? Where does it have to be? Where is the audience? How does it have to work? How much money have we got to spend there? How much time have we got? All of the issues that will stop you doing what you want to do. You have to understand what those issues are. So if everybody in the room, a flat hierarchy is everyone in the room or everyone in this room, because you're an ideas factory for the next 30 minutes. If everyone agrees on the issues, you can move on to the next stage. The second stage is the idea stage. Once you've identified those issues and you're happy with what they are, you then have to develop an idea platform. And that's the basis of your event. It's what the event is built on, and that idea platform will allow you to build your response upon it. You can then deal with all of those 10 or 15 keywords on that ideas platform because they're all pulled together. That's your foundation, your idea foundation. Then you can add anything to it. Anything that comes along, someone finds something else, it all fits on that idea platform. If you have that initial idea, that initial theme, that initial thing that develops that is going to give your client what they actually require, then you're never going to be knocked off course. And if you agree on the issues and the group agrees on the idea, you can then all split up and work together on the delivery. If you work together, it's actually a relatively fun way of doing things, and events can be great to do. If you haven't agreed on the issues and the idea in the first place, you're actually fighting each other, and you all hate each other by the time you finish anyway. That's just not terribly pleasant. So, the brief. If you're actually up for this, we're going to share and see what Dell actually want, and then I'll want your opinions on there. Can I ask you two ladies, would you be our expert panel? Come on stage. Now, we've got an expert panel because the brief is aimed at 18 to 24-year-olds. This is the safest bit here. And now on your CV, can I just say you've now presented at IBTM. So are you presenting any other days or just today? Just today. OK. Sit yourselves down. You've got a microphone there. Anything that these guys suggest, you're the judge and the jury of whether it goes in or whether it doesn't go in. OK? So you are the most important people in the room. So please, a round of applause for our expert panel. Right, here we go. So this is a briefing form. This is an actual live briefing form with a little bit of information redacted. So you can actually see it down there, so you're pretty good with it. So what we've got here is it's Dell Technologies. So we're talking computers. They've got two main ranges of computers, which is XPS and Alienware. XPS does just about everything. Really good build quality. Very reliable, very capable, and then you've got Alienware, which is like super high. That's that 800 plus euro mark, where that's for really, really high performance. So you're using that for massive engineering, heavy graphics, superb for gaming and stuff like that. So what Dell have said is that post-pandemic, people don't go into stores anymore. So retail, they found retail is a void. No one goes there. So, in fact, there's a brilliant book by Georges Perec called A Void, where he writes the entire book without the letter A. Amazing. But nobody goes to retail, so they're going to bring retail to their audience, to our expert panel down here. And what they found is that when people get their hands on the product, they like it. When they get their hands on it and they try it. So it's more like selling a car than selling a laptop. If people try it, they buy it. If they get their hands on it, they like the quality, they like what they can do with it, they like what it can do for their lives. There's a whole load of stuff about brand awareness. We won't bother with that particularly for that. In terms of measurement, they're looking for engagement numbers. In other words, they're looking for real engagement numbers. And it says here, redemption of promotional codes. So we know that they are willing to have incentives. They're willing to give things away. They're willing to do free stuff as part of this. So that's really important because we can build that into the interaction. That's that's good. We like that. Then they've got stuff about brand. Now they talk about the young metropolitan audience. Do you recognize yourself here? It says here that 16 to 24 years old, young metropolitan, a high propensity, active prospector stages, students, early professionals. Is that you guys? Do you think? Yeah, okay, use the microphone. So, what do you want from a laptop? From a laptop computer, what do you think of it? Do you have a particular brand that you like or don't like? No, so
I don't care.
So it's just what you can do with it that's important to you. Is that right? Yes. Okay. There's some insight on the audience, and the insight says that 61% of 61% of the people have an emotional attachment to their technology. Now that's not surprising, because if you think about it, technology is actually it's an extension of our personalities. So it's either putting a superpower in our hands, or it's allowing us to express something some way. So yeah, fine, I can get with that. We can live with that. So expression's really important. Emotional's really important. Creative. Technology is used to create. This is the Culture Creates IBTM show. So the brief kind of fits with that, because what we're seeing is the creative process, a lot of technology is used for that. So that's okay, we can go with that. Then 83% of people say they want their brand to have purpose. We'll miss that bit out because I don't think anybody actually believes most of the purposes that tech companies say they have. So we'll do something with it, but our audience is incredibly savvy and they're really, really smart. So they know the deal. They know that things aren't necessarily done with intent, apart from a very few brands. So we're okay with that. So product-wise, we've got XPS and Alienware, as we've said. They want innovation, and they want a mixture of training materials, content. Yeah, we'll look into the content later on. We'll come in for that. Internal considerations, we'll leave that. The creative brief. Now, that is really important. That's the bit that we're actually looking for. So here, a retail attractor experience. So attractor is incredibly important. We like that. That experience or that attractor has to say something or express something about Dell, XPS and Alienware. Alienware particularly, so that means that we're definitely going to have a gaming bit in there. Any gamers? Any gamers in here? Not really? Well, statistically, about 43% of the age group we're looking at are heavy gamers, really big users, and that's actually increasing. So if you think that roughly 2 billion people are using YouTube every single day, there's about 4 million gamers every day. So gaming is really, really big. It's like half the world. So we've definitely got to have a gaming bit in there. We've definitely got to leverage that. The audience insights we did, the strategy is the power of Dell. That's exciting. Maybe we can do a little bit better than that. So sometimes when you get a brief, there's certain times where you're going to have to say, that's not going to work for the audience. So if we say power of Dell, do you like the sound of that? It means nothing, does it? So we need to do something that means something to you and not mean something to Dell. So we'll ditch the power of Dell bit. We'll keep the word power, and we'll get rid of everything else, I think. And then we've got our attractor bit. That's really important. And the springboard, that's quite nice. So we're looking for a space that says something about our audience rather than the product itself. A place for our audience to hang out. Now that's interesting, that's okay. And a place for our target audience can curate and make their own. That's all very aspirational, we like that, that's pretty good. And surprise and delight our audience, rewrite an outdated retail playbook. So we've got to develop something new to replace retail with our attractor space. We know it's going to be digital, we know it's going to be hangout. More playtail than retail. That's quite good. We're going to hold on to that playtail because that fits a lot of the things that we've talked about. And contemplative, tranquility. I didn't expect to see tranquility in a tech brief, but hey, that's a first for you. And eco-venience. In other words, it's got to be hassle-free because of the demographic that we're talking about. It's got to really, really work. You want your life to be easier. Nothing hard, really easy, no hassle, no problems, no stress. So, distilling the major words, the main words that we saw there. What the brief has actually said, because I had the good fortune of doing this morning, what the brief has actually said is that they want a mobile retail experience. So let's call it roadtail. For a 70% online audience, so should we be bringing some of the online behavior into our exhibit? It's got to be expressional so that when people are there, they have an emotional attachment to it. They're going to want to be able to express themselves, so that's hands-on. They're going to be able to create stuff, hands-on. The purposeful thing, we'll come back to that because I'm not sure everyone believes that just yet. But playtail, that's really important. So we know that we have liberty to make this really playful, really quite fun. We know it's got to be an attractor because no one knows it's going to be there. And if it's going to pop up and suddenly appear in a site somewhere, there has to be something that makes people go there. And when they go there, they have to stay there. It's a pushback experience because people aren't going to retail venues, they aren't going to high streets. So we're pushing back on that behavior and attacking it from a different angle. And then also, we want it to be tranquil and we want it to be hassle-free, eco-venience. So those are the key words, I think, and those are that's the main things that we're going to look at. So if you remember back to the other orange slides, it was issue, idea, and delivery. So the issues here, let's start with roadtail. Anyone got any ideas or anyone want to suggest, what sort of mobile exhibit do you think your 18 to 24 gens actually want to see? Would they want to see a bus? Would they want to see a pop-up building? Would they want to see some of those inflatables that we've got out there? Anyone got an opinion on any of that? Could we have a microphone for this young lady? Yes.
Pop-up. It's more like youngful. They want to explore new things. If they see a blow-up, they just see it and take pictures, and that's it. And if it's a pop-up store, they will post it, they will talk about it, and it will be an experience.
What does the pop-up look like?
I'm not too sure. It's different.
Yeah. So it's a pop-up structure. So there is something that's not there that is suddenly there. So that's magic, right?
Yeah.
And what if that thing came to you? So what if we took it to a university campus, perhaps? 18 to 24-year-olds, we do it at the right time. We go to a university, or we go to a college campus, or a university campus, and something appears overnight. So we want a structure that we can build overnight. Yeah?
Yeah.
We like that?
Yeah.
So if we build it overnight, no one knows what's going on. You get up in the morning, and in the early dawn morning, because the light, it'll be summertime, or it'll either be at the end of term or the beginning of term, won't it? So you're going to have good sunlight in the morning. You're going to have long evenings before it gets dark in there. So we need a structure which is relatively mobile, easy to do. Maybe those cubes and things, that they've got around here,
Yeah.
you can get them at their rooms. They're pretty good. Do we like the idea of it being like an inflatable cube?
Yeah.
Something of that nature? Okay.
Something fast, because if they see it that wasn't there last night and easy to pop up, like you said, it will be an interesting experience, and they want to know what it is. So they'll go to it and start asking.
Okay.
Because
So
we are quite an eager generation.
Right. So the next question is, do we tell them what it is, or do we not tell them what it is?
If you're finished, you tell them. If not, no.
You're nodding your head. Which one?
The second one, no.
Not. We do tell them, or we don't tell them?
We don't tell them.
We don't tell them.
We don't tell
That's a really brave thing to do. Right, so why do we not tell them?
Surprise them.
So surprise. That was one of the things in the brief, wasn't it? Surprise and delight. So we've got our pop-up that appears overnight, and we don't tell them what's happening. So if we don't tell them what's happening, are we going to need some other kind of communication so that people know that something is happening, but they don't know what is happening? We've got any social media people here? Anyone really good with social? You're smiling, which means you probably are. Yeah, so far we've got a pop-up, an inflatable cube. So an inflatable cube can be, 24 by 24, 15 by 15. It's a complete structure, more or less like the ones that you've got here, but you can have doors and windows and stuff on them. That's not too bad. But we are going to disguise it so that nobody knows what it's there for. It simply appears on a campus or in an area or a college area or wherever our audience is, this thing appears. Now, they've got to know that something's happening, but we're not allowed to tell them what's happening. What do we tell them?
So we're going to give them some type of physical signage that sends them to social media to take them on a journey.
Why don't we do the digital before the physical?
Sorry?
Why don't we go online first and do a
better.
tease campaign?
You can do that too, but if they're walking outside their room straight away, you have to do it in both. You have to do it simultaneously.
Those campuses are pretty big, and so you'll have a much bigger reach if we do it digitally as well. Mm-hmm. What channels should we use for that?
Oh, God, I'm too old for that. I'm going to say YouTube, TikTok.
What channels should we use to talk to people in colleges and universities so that they know that something's happening, but they don't know what's happening?
Every social media that's...
Which ones?
Which ones? Like Instagram, TikTok...
Right, Instagram's good because we can do images and very, very little telling. So I like the idea of Instagram. That works.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
And it will work.
And then could we make a thing, the night that it's being built, could we make a thing of people not knowing what's going on, and so we literally don't let people near anything? Because the fear of missing out, because if you say you can't do something, I want to do it. So we need to have something that happens there. So we should also have, we should hire dancers or physical theatre or something or other like that. So there is something happening around the cube, but no one knows what the cube is doing, and it draws people to it, and it makes them ask a question. Alistair, you're going to say something.
Sorry.
This man knows about PR, so we now have a PR expert in the room. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Robert. I would put a chain around it. so that everyone thinks it's inaccessible. I'd also cover it in black so everyone thinks they're not allowed to do it. I might not put some do not enter signs. I'd make it look hazardous.
So you've got a big gold chain round it. You just made a Drake tube.
Yes, yes. I would
And
add
then we'll play really heavy rap music. And yeah.
something around those lines. I would make it look...
Why is it black?
Because I don't want people to look in, and I want people to have the sense of drama that comes from opaqueness.
But if it's black, I can't light it. And then it won't look really sexy at night.
Is there a reveal to be done here?
Yeah, there's got to be. We're going to keep the options open. OK, so we're going to have the chain round it. We're going to have a gold chain round it, just for Alistair. And so far, we've got our cube that appears one night. The Magic Cube Fairies put it up there. It's chained off. It's got physical theatre or dancers or whatever happening around it so that it's drawing attention to itself but not telling anyone anything. And when people go up to like the dancers, we're making this up as we go along, by the way. When the people go up to the dancers or the physical theatre guys, no one's allowed to talk. So no one will be allowed to talk so that this silence becomes a thing. So we'll have a brand. We've got a brand that we're not going to tell anyone anything about yet. When the cube opens up, I'll tell you what would be good. Could we have windows in our cube? If we have the thing made, we could have some porthole windows in there, which always looks kind of cool, and that goes back to like that 50s style, like sci-fi stuff. And then those windows, we can use those windows because everyone will try to get to those windows to see what's happening inside, and we don't let people see what's happening inside until much, much later. So we will have a custom-made cube that's got portholes in it. It's got 4 entrances because of the size of it. We'll need that for health and safety and so forth. So now we know that we've got this 18 by 18 or 24 meter by 24 meter cube. That's what I'm imagining. So I think we've done the roadtail thing. So this thing has appeared, and nothing is happening yet, and it interests me already. So I quite like this. This is good. Are we OK so far? So that we're allowed to do that. OK, then the next thing is it's supposed to be, I think, to a degree, with your chain and the dancers, we've fulfilled the attractor bit as well, haven't we? And then we've got young lady at the back, her social media, the signage. Now, let me ask you about the signage. OK, this is great. We've now got, I can introduce everyone to our signage experts. This is a room full of experts. It's great. With signage, what signage could you have on a college campus or a university campus? So it's got to be really robust because people have got to be able to run into it when they're drunk as a skunk at night. The campus is open 24/7, and we're not telling people about it. So what sort of signage are we going to have that doesn't tell people what's happening? And then how do we change that signage when we do want to tell people what's happening?
So to go back to Alistair, yeah?
Yeah,
Alistair's
please.
idea of the chain.
Yeah.
I was thinking about adding, when you see on construction sites and they have that mesh and there's usually like drawings on it, you can make it quite opaque so people don't know what's happening, and then you can change that really
fencing.
quickly. Huh?
Harris fencing. It's incredibly cheap to hire. I like it.
Yep.
And that's urban. That goes with the chains. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Exactly. It's really easy, and you can put those in different spots. It doesn't have to be in just that one. It can go around the actual structure, and then you can have pieces of that element to tell a story along the way in different parts of the campus.
So again, we're denying people.
Mm-hmm.
We've got this no thing going on. I quite like this no thing. We're going to use that. So instead of the power of Dell at the moment, we've got no. Because we've denied people the chance to do any of the things that they want to do. And then we've got signage which appears but doesn't function, and then it will function later on, yeah?
Put a timer on it. Sorry. Should we just do it?
Can you two sit beside each other, please?
No, I'd put a timer on it. So a countdown.
Oh, countdown clock. I love that. Countdown clock. That's really good. Countdown clock. That's the social media thing as well.
Projected onto the...
You should do PR or something.
I know.
No,
projected onto the cube.
countdown clock projected onto the cube. Countdown clock on... So far, we've got no and a countdown clock. That's our big idea. That's our theme. And that can be projected not onto the cube as well, but what we can do is, like led by donkeys and stuff like that, we'll get a truck with a big projector on it, and we'll drive around the campus projecting the clock onto the flats that everyone lives in. So you get up one morning and the clock's going on there. So all night long, before it opens, the clock is going. The whole campus will know that something is going to happen when that clock ticks down. And so that's a fantastic attractor. That's also, we've now got a PR campaign as well. We've got a no and our countdown clock. We've then got, I think this really qualifies as being a pushback experience. That's actually pretty good. That's working well. Tranquility and eco-convenience we haven't done. So let's, okay, so now what's inside the cube? Anyone want to start that one off? What's actually inside the cube? I'll give you a clue. There are some laptop computers. How do we present them? We've actually got a product now. Anyone? This is like Ferris Bueller's day off, isn't it? Ferris Bueller, anyone? Anyone? Bueller?
Maybe you have one of those reclining chairs that vibrates. I see them at the gym sometimes. People love to sit in them.
Right, so
to play with your laptop.
we need seats, right?
Yeah.
And what sort of, so reclining seats is pretty cool. That works. So that's going to increase the dwell time that people are in there. So I quite like that.
They relax you. They're massaging.
Okay, so that's the tranquility thing.
Could be.
So why don't we have a tranquility entrance? If we've got 4 doors, we've now got a tranquility entrance where you can go in, and that's cool. Thank you very much for that. So inside, we're going to have to do something to make that cube live up to all the hype that we've given it. So we know that those structures take light incredibly well. Those structures are very good acoustically, so we're pretty good at keeping the noise from the outside in there. Then we want people to actually try the stuff on hands-on. So that really has to be around the content. So what do people do with the create and the expression with laptops? What do people do with their laptops? What do they do with the product?
They work on it. They read emails and watch TikTok and
They're-
solitaire.
How old are you, Alistair?
Not saying that.
You're over 18 to 34, right?
Yes.
Right. What do 18 to 34-year-olds do with a laptop? Hi.
Hi. Have it maybe create some projection inside the cube, and people can interact with computers and change the projectors, or create something around the cube that can be changed using the computers, also their mobile phone, so creating an interactivity.
Do we like that? Is that okay? Yeah, that's been approved by the expert panel. Right, so we have got now a cube. The cube has got 4 different entrances. One of the entrances is a tranquility entrance. The cube has got really funky workstations in there that have got the laptops on them. That half of the cube maybe will be, XPS, whatever it be. The other half is likely to be gamey. We might have some more gaming chairs, because you get specific gaming chairs, don't you? And gaming kit, and a different light level of wherever those things are. Then, to your idea, then everything that's happening, everything that everyone is creating at any given time, on that, we're going to create almost like an Internet of Things cube for the people that are inside that cube. So every single laptop that's in there, every device that people are using, will be linked to a projector, which our guys in the corner can do from ACS. And they will have a projector for every single laptop. So everything that you're doing is being projected on the cube around you. So when you walk in there, you can see what everyone else is creating already, which is actually the purpose of the product in the first place. That is the purpose. It's why the product is in there, is for people to express themselves emotionally, to do something creative, to extend their life in some way with this device. So everything they do will be projected. We actually don't need to have very much in the cube now. You have just saved us so much money. You've made a production company very rich, and you've saved them so much money. So we're going to have to work out a way of having a rig inside a cube, but that's technical people's problem. That's not yours. I love that idea. So every single bit of content, every single expression that happens in that cube is projected inside it. Then we'll take Alistair's chains, and we're going to take his chains and we're going to make little queue lines. And there'll be a queue line that takes you to all of our porthole windows, so that when you're in the queue, when you get down the front of the queue, you can see what's happening inside, you can get an idea of what's occurring. That's by day, and remember we started off by night. So should we gift something to all these people who are working so hard? If you've been in the cube and you've been working, or you've been doing whatever it is that you want to do and express yourself, what do you like doing in the evenings? Do you go to the movies? Do you play games?
I don't know, hang out with friends.
So you want to hang out, right? Right, this is supposed to be a hangout. What would you want inside the cube at night? So in other words, all the stuff, all the projection and all that sort of stuff, we can almost switch that off, and we've got this beautiful blank space again. What would you want inside there in the evening? What would you want as a hangout?
I don't know, maybe some space where I can talk with my friends and have a good time. I don't know.
So we come back to your seats. We want to change all of the furniture through the day, where you've got the masseur seats, where you've got the gaming stuff that's occurring on there. All of that disappears, and a completely new layout. Why don't we turn the whole thing into like a giant day bed, and there's just cushions, and it's like got an inflatable bed, and everyone takes their shoes and socks off, and there's just chocolates and treats and stuff like that. So we can change the evening. What if we were to keep the projection and put a movie on in the evening? Or we could have a DJ. We could have a silent disco in there. So what we could do, so going back to the social media thing, right?